Hello and welcome to a really brief video on repairing your, I guess it's pronounced Artiste digital wireless headset. This is the model ADH300. It's an older set that I've had quite a while. About a year and a half ago, maybe longer, the nickel metal hydride rechargeable AAAs that are in it died, and it was probably just before I went on one of my trips. And I didn't order them, and when I got home I was busy. One thing led to another. I just hadn't been using them, so I guess about a year and a half went by. I hadn't done anything with these. And the other night I was watching a British television program, and every once in a while you have trouble picking out what they're saying. It's, you know, the difference in accent and how they pronounce things. So I said, I'll throw my headphones on. That always makes it easier to understand. So I threw a set of AA pen light or AAA pen lights in it just to use them for the evening. But the volume switch wouldn't work all of a sudden. Now these had been fine before I left, but I could turn the volume up, but it wouldn't go down. It just absolutely refused to go down. And when you press the up button on these, when you hit the limit, you get a little beep, it gives you a little tone, and the headset lets you know you're at maximum volume. And if I kept pressing the up, every once in a while it would beep, but most of the time there was nothing. It just maintained the volume, and I wasn't getting that feedback, and the down didn't work at all. So I knew right away that the tactile switches in there had died, and ordered some tactile switches. These happen to be 6x6x5 if you have the same model. And if you take a look at this picture, they're right angle tactile switches, and the dimensions 6x6x5. The 6x6 is the square black body portion, and then if you measure from the back of the body to the top of the little button, it's 5mm. So they're 6x6x5. They come in all different lengths up to like 12mm, I think, so that you could get 6x6x12s. But these are 6x6x5 if you want to pre-order them if you're having trouble. They came in, dropped them in, and boom, the up and down buttons are fine. We're back. And I knew they were bad. I had pulled it apart and checked it. They're supposed to be, basically a dead short when the button's pushed, and they were reading megohms. So just replaced them. They were cheap. And then I ordered some AAA nickel metal hydride rechargeable batteries for the thing. Put them in, and when it's charging, you get a green light. You can see the green light here. All I was getting was a red indication. I was getting no light. It was just showing power. It was just showing this red light, and I could drop the headset in and it wasn't recognizing they were in the set. I cleaned the contacts here and here, and I said, oh, maybe it's got a broken wire. I opened up the base. Everything was fine inside. Then I took the headset apart. Now that goes in through the side with the off and on switch. And when I opened them up, I found on the back of the circuit board, they're all back together now, but I found on the back of the circuit board there was 2 extra wires going to the negative contact. And if you look here in this picture, there's an auxiliary contact right near the spring. You see that little loop of wire where the pencil's pointing? That tells the charging system that there's batteries present. And if you look at the batteries here, here's the batteries that came out of it. You see the bare metal on these? That's so that auxiliary contact can make contact with the side of the battery. I had thrown these inner loops in, and they wouldn't work. I had to cut away the label back here and clean up, get all the goo off, expose the metal so that they look like this, and dropped it in there, and now it charges just fine. They probably do that because without the batteries in there to pull the current down through the current sense resistor, the voltage is probably way too high and would burn out the electronics. In fact, what's the voltage on here? Well, this says 5 volts, but we're looking at, 3 volts roughly here. A volt and a half a piece, basically. Now it's blinking at me. It didn't like being unplugged. Alright, see if it resets. There it goes, it's working. But anyway, I'm sure somebody else out there has replaced their batteries at some time and found that the thing wouldn't charge, probably got frustrated, and probably threw the headset away after that. But if you've got a set of these and you are replacing the batteries in them, make sure you trim back the label on the battery so that it exposes the negative terminal down the side, because you have the spring contact and you have the little auxiliary contact on the side. And I wouldn't cheat it, because you might do damage to the set if it gets plugged in if there's no or set on charge if there's no batteries in there to charge. That's it, short and sweet. Hope I saved somebody some grief. Catch you later. Bye-bye.